Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission here is to give you the ultimate shortcut to being well-informed, and today that means tackling a professional stack of knowledge that is immediately actionable. We are moving beyond the world of introductory AI tools and plunging straight into the architecture professionals use to build scalable, complex, and high-value applications.
That's right. If you've dabbled in AI website creation, and many of you have, you've likely hit the ceiling of level 1 AI tools. We're talking about the pleasant but, fundamentally limiting world of Framer AI, Wix, or Canva for web.
And they're great for what they are.
Oh, absolutely. They are fantastic for rapid mockups and simple brochures, but they completely fall apart when you need to build a system that handles user authentication, complex data, and custom server logic.
So we're not here to talk about building simple landing pages.
Not at all.
We're talking about architecting the future. And you, our listener, have likely realized that your growing ambition just demands more capability. Perhaps you have a client asking for a sophisticated booking portal, or, you want to launch a full-scale SaaS application. You realize your current toolkit is it's inadequate.
And this deep dive is designed precisely to address that gap. We are defining the professional standard. It's about understanding how AI doesn't just write a bit of code, but how it assists with complex system automation, full-stack architecture, and really efficient workflow management. Our focus is squarely on the level 3 stack: Replit, Vercel, and Supabase.
The sources we've analyzed call this the professional mandate, and it sounds like a non-negotiable step for anyone serious about high-earning development. So why is this transition to advanced AI tools mandatory?
It's because the systems that solve sophisticated, high-value client problems, they simply cannot be built in a no-code environment. It's just not possible.
Okay, so let's put a finer point on that. What do those sophisticated problems actually look like?
We're talking about applications that require, say, real-time database transactions or multi-role access control.
What's that? Like separating what an admin can see versus a regular user?
Exactly. An admin, a user, and maybe a guest view. Or think about complex integrations with financial or logistical APIs. A website builder can't manage real-time inventory for an e-commerce site.
All right.
And it certainly can't handle high PA-compliant patient data for a medical portal. The stakes are just too high.
And crucially, mastering this professional stack creates a significant market differentiator for you. That's a huge point. If you're only using those level 1 tools, you're competing against everyone who watched a 10-minute YouTube tutorial.
That's it.
By mastering this level 3 environment, you elevate yourself immediately, and that allows you to take on those bigger, higher-paying projects with genuine technical confidence.
What core takeaways from our material really crystallizes this mindset shift. It's this idea that the difference between a beginner and a professional is the tools they master.
I like that. It's a transition from being someone who just uses technology to being someone who truly leverages technology.
It's not just about efficiency either. It's about capability. A professional toolset inherently builds in features like scalability, enterprise-grade security, and global distribution right from the start.
So that technological leverage means you can accept projects that are, they're geometrically more complex.
And therefore significantly more profitable.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's provide a really clear map for everyone listening. Before we dive into the specific platforms, you said we need to understand the hierarchy of AI-assisted development.
We do. It's defined in the source material, and it's a really helpful way to frame this.
Yeah, I appreciate that structure. So often people think AI is just this one monolithic thing, but there are clearly tiers of professional output.
Absolutely. Think of this as climbing a mountain. Most people, especially those who are really excited by the recent viral AI tools, they start at level 1, and they think you're near the summit.
But they're not.
They're at base camp. So level 1 is no-code AI tools. These focus overwhelmingly on the visual layer, the front-end design, and basic static content.
So Framer, Canva, Wix AI, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Their strength is speed and accessibility for simple informational websites. Their limitations, however, become obvious almost immediately.
Like what?
Poor control over data, an inability to write any kind of custom application logic, and a total reliance on their proprietary infrastructure.
So level 1 is great for look at this, but not for let's do this.
You've nailed it. It's a perfect way to put it. Then there's the necessary stepping stone. Level 2 is low-code AI tools. These tools try to bridge the gap. They often use visual interfaces, but they let you inject some custom scripts for formulas.
Okay, so what are we talking about here?
Tools like Bubble AI, SoftArt, AppyPie, or maybe more specialized tools like JotForm apps. They let you build specific functional applications, but they still impose some significant architectural constraints.
And you're often locked into their ecosystem.
Precisely. You gain some control, but you haven't yet mastered the underlying architecture.
And that brings us to our destination.
And then we arrive. Level 3 is full-stack AI tools. This is the professional arena Replit AI, Vercel, Supabase, and GitHub Copilot. These tools assume you understand code and system logic, and they leverage AI to accelerate every single stage of the professional development pipeline
So this is where you stop building templates.
and start architecting systems.
That distinction changes everything. Level 3 mastery means you're not just pasting code, you're managing databases, you're controlling authentication flows, and you're using serverless functions. This dramatically transforms your earning potential. You move from being a designer to being a system architect.
And if you are serious about becoming what we call a full-stack AI-enhanced developer, this stack is mandatory. It's the key to achieving professional-grade speed, security, and scalability.
All right, let's do it. Let's drill down into the specifics of the 4 essential pillars that form this advanced professional toolkit.
Okay.
Let's start with the central command post the development environment itself. That means Replit. It's being described as much more than just a coding editor.
Oh, much more. Replit is foundational because it solves one of the biggest bottlenecks in traditional development, which is just environmental setup.
Yeah.
If you ever spent hours or even days setting up virtual environments, installing dependencies, configuring a local server, and then figuring out deployment scripts,
Yeah,
you know the pain.
I know the pain.
Replit eliminates that friction.
Mm.
It functions as a complete ecosystem.
Okay, so what exactly does Replit consolidate? Because in the old days, a developer needed like half a dozen separate applications and terminals running at the same time just to get started.
Right. So Replit replaces 4 traditionally separate components. First, you have a robust integrated coding editor, which is pretty similar to VS Code, but it's all running in the cloud.
Okay.
Second, you get a managed server to instantly run your application logic, whether that's Python, Node.js, or Java. Third, it has a built-in deployment engine that pushes your application live with a single click.
And the fourth piece is the AI.
The fourth and most important is the integrated AI mentor, which is specifically trained to work right inside that Replit environment.
That combination of development, execution, and deployment is a massive efficiency boost on its own. But let's really focus on that AI mentor. What specific high-level automation capabilities make Replit a level 3 tool?
Well, the capabilities are all about high-level functional creation. So Replit AI can write complete multi-line functions based on simple human language prompts.
Not just one line of code.
No, entire blocks. And if you encounter an error, it can debug complex multi-file errors instantly, which is far faster than a human trying to trace through log files. And for learning or refactoring, it provides instant line-by-line documentation, turning abstract code into understandable logic.
That ability to instantly explain code, that's invaluable for maintenance or for developers who have to switch between different programming languages.
Absolutely. But its highest value might be its ability to handle the initial system setup. It excels at converting pseudocode, so your high-level plan or your requirements documented into functional, runnable code in whatever stack you've chosen.
So you describe the system, and Replit builds the structural scaffolding for you instantly.
That's it.
Here's where the source material provided that fantastic, concrete prompt example. Let's walk through what Replit can achieve in seconds that might take a human developer a full day or maybe even more.
Okay. The challenge we gave, it was specific and pretty demanding.
Yeah.
We said, create a simple login system with HTML, CSS, and Python Flask. Include authentication.
And notice, we didn't just ask for a static page. We asked for a dynamic system that includes security protocols.
A huge distinction.
Yeah.
And the result. Replit instantly delivers all the necessary layers. You get the front-end login page of the HTML and CSS. You get the back-end server logic written in Python Flask to handle all the routes and requests. And critically, it incorporates essential security components like password hashing and error handling for failed logins.
Let's pause on password hashing for a moment because this is a core differentiator between amateur and professional work. For someone listening, what is password hashing and why is it so important that Replit does it automatically?
It's a great question. Hashing is the process of irreversibly transforming a plain text password into a unique, fixed-length string of characters. It's like a cryptographic fingerprint.
So you can't turn it back into the original password.
You can't. If Replit didn't do this, it would store the password in plain text, making the database a massive security risk, a hacker's dream. By automatically implementing advanced algorithms like bcrypt or script, the AI ensures that even if the database is breached, the actual passwords cannot be recovered.
So the developer doesn't have to manually implement or audit these complex cryptographic requirements?
No, the AI handles the professional security standard instantly.
That is massive leverage. It turns a single command into the work of a designer, a back-end coder, and like a junior security engineer.
Precisely. The implication, highlighted by experts in the field, is that this capability allows one person to efficiently function like a team of three. This massive multiplier effect is why Replit is the starting point for any serious professional project.
Okay, moving on from the development environment, we have to address the critical issue of deployment and scale. A professional application needs high-performance hosting, and our material points to Vercel as the platform used by the industry giants.
Yeah, Vercel isn't just a place to upload your files. It's an integrated global deployment platform that's optimized for speed, scalability, and the modern Jamstack architecture. It is built from the ground up to handle instantaneous traffic spikes and low latency delivery across the entire world.
And when we look at the credibility of Vercel, I mean, the source names are staggering. Meta, Netflix, TikTok, and Uber. Those organizations demand peak performance 24/7.
And that establishes the baseline expectation. If your goal is to build a high-earning, sophisticated application, your deployment environment has to operate at that same industry standard. You can't afford slow loading times or downtime.
So, beyond the impressive name drops, let's get into the technical features. What makes Vercel the professional choice?
Performance and cost efficiency are paramount. Vercel specializes in lightning-fast delivery, which is critical not only for user experience, but also for things like search engine optimization and conversion rates. And crucially, they offer robust features like automatic SSL encryption, that secure sockets layer, as a standard free feature.
Which is non-negotiable today.
Any professional application handling user data must have this layer of security to encrypt the data between the user's browser and the server.
And that automatic security is a huge simplification for a developer. What about scalability? You mentioned serverless functions are a major component. Can we expand on that definition?
Absolutely. The term serverless is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean there are no servers, it just means the developer doesn't have to manage them. Vercel utilizes what's called edge computing. This allows your back-end logic, those functions that process data, authenticate users, or call an external API, to run on servers physically located close to your users wherever they are in the world.
So if a user in Tokyo hits a button, the code executes near Tokyo, not necessarily in a data center in, say, Virginia.
Correct. And that dramatically reduces latency, making the application feel instantaneous globally. Your logic only wakes up and runs when it's called, meaning you only pay for compute time when it's actively serving a request.
Which gives you massive automatic scalability.
And superior cost efficiency compared to maintaining dedicated, always-on traditional servers.
Plus, Vercel offers seamless integration with development tools like GitHub and Replit, which enables modern Git-based deployment.
Right. You commit your code, and Vercel automatically builds, tests, and deploys the update. It's a very smooth workflow.
And this is where AI steps in even before the code is written. Our sources highlight a powerful AI deployment use case.
Yes, you can prompt a generative AI, even a generalized model like ChatGPT, to produce a Next.js project structure that is already optimized specifically for Vercel deployment.
So you're starting off on the right foot.
Exactly. It eliminates configuration errors and ensures you start with a clean, performant foundation from the get-go.
That sets us up perfectly. We have the environment in Replit and the deployment in Vercel. Now, every serious application requires a brain, a backend for data and user management. Let's talk about Supabase.
Okay, Supabase. It's introduced as the modern, comprehensive backend solution. In the past, building a backend meant manually setting up a database, configuring user authentication services, creating storage buckets, and then writing a custom API to connect them all.
A lot of moving parts.
A lot of things to go wrong. Supabase bundles all of these necessities into one coherent platform.
The sources refer to it as the open source Firebase. That's a pretty powerful comparison.
It is. Firebase, which is Google's offering, is very well known. But Supabase offers the same suite of services, database, authentication, storage, and serverless functions. But it's all built on open source technology.
And why is that important for a professional?
It gives developers more control, more flexibility, and crucially, it helps you avoid vendor lock-in, which is a key professional consideration.
And the underlying database choice here is important, isn't it? They use PostgreSQL. Why is that a professional standard?
PostgreSQL is widely regarded as the most robust, feature-rich, open-source relational database out there. For high-value professional projects, developers need reliability, data integrity, and the ability to handle complex queries efficiently. PostgreSQL provides that structure. It ensures data relationships like knowing which teacher is linked to which lesson are maintained perfectly.
So we have this powerful structured backend. Now, how does AI interact with this structure to create magic, as the sources describe it?
The magic is really in the acceleration of architecture. Back-end creation is usually a painstaking process, but AI leverages Supabase's structure to perform these tasks almost instantly. This includes writing database schemas, generating complex SQL queries, inserting sample data for testing, and writing the necessary API endpoints to interact with all that data.
Let's focus on writing database schemas. That requires a deep understanding of data relationships and constraints, which is something beginners really struggle with.
It does. Let's use the example from the source. The prompt is, create a Supabase schema for a course website with students, teachers, and lessons.
Okay.
The AI doesn't just list 3 tables. It delivers the complete data model. It creates primary keys for unique identification. It sets up foreign keys to link lessons to teachers and students. And it selects appropriate data types for names, dates, and progress percentages.
So it instantly provides a robust data architecture that allows the developer to skip what is often the most error-prone stage and move directly to building the application's logic.
And it goes further. If you need a specific complex query, say, fetch the names of all students who failed more than 2 quizzes in the last month, the AI can translate that complex natural language demand into secure, optimized SQL code instantly.
Wow.
This saves professional developers an immense amount of time writing and testing complex database language.
We've covered the entire operational architecture. The final piece of the professional puzzle is the AI that works directly alongside you, inside the code. GitHub Copilot.
Copilot is often called the world's most powerful code auto-completion AI, but honestly, that descriptor kind of undersells its capability.
How so?
It's a constant contextual coding partner. It's integrated directly into editors like VS Code and, yes, Replit. It's used by millions of developers, and it fundamentally changes the relationship a developer has with the actual act of coding.
So what are the core functions Copilot provides that distinguish it from, the standard suggestions you get in an IDE?
It's all about anticipation and quality. Copilot instantly completes entire functions based on your function signature or even just a comment. It helps you adhere to language best practices, ensuring your code is cleaner and more idiomatic.
What does idiomatic mean in this context?
It means it looks like it was written by an experienced professional who knows the language inside and out. And most critically, it acts proactively.
Proactively how?
It suggests improvements, and it warns you about potential errors before you compile or run the code. If you introduce a potential security vulnerability or a known anti-pattern, Copilot often flags it and offers a safer alternative.
So it's like having a vigilant senior peer reviewer looking over every single line you type.
That's a perfect analogy.
And what about ramp-up time on a new project if you're jumping into a new code base?
That's another area of immense value. If you inherit some legacy code or join a project written in a language you're unfamiliar with, you can just highlight a block of code and ask Copilot, explain what this function does. It provides instant contextual documentation, and that cuts down onboarding time dramatically.
Let's make the auto-completion capability really concrete using the JavaScript example that was provided.
Okay, so imagine the developers working on an e-commerce checkout process. They type the initial line, function, calculate price products.
Just the function name.
Just the name and the opening brace. The moment that brace is placed, Copilot recognizes the pattern. It immediately suggests the full body of the function. So it initializes a total variable, it iterates through the product's array, it safely sums up the cost, maybe even applies some business logic like sales tax or discounts, and then finally, it returns the total price.
That's a sequence of what, 10 to 15 lines of code? The basic scaffolding written instantaneously?
Right, and that allows the developer to focus on the custom logic, like integrating a coupon API, rather than the mechanical, repetitive work of iteration.
It's massive time compression.
It is. And this brings us to the crucial mindset shift the sources want to instill. When developers, especially learners, first encounter this power, they often worry it's cheating. The crucial takeaway here is that Copilot is not cheating, it is accelerating. Professional delivery is about speed and clean architecture, not manual transcription. Copilot is the tool of velocity.
Okay, we have our 4 pillars established. Replit for the coding environment and initial generation, Vercel for high-performance deployment, Supabase for the structured backend, and Copilot as the real-time coding expert. Now comes the aha moment. How do these individual components lock together into a cohesive, high-efficiency professional system?
This integrated workflow is what really defines the full-stack AI-enhanced developer. It's a structured, five-step process where AI accelerates every technical handoff point, and those handoff points are traditionally the hardest parts of development.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning, the concept phase.
Step 1. Build design. Even with AI, you need a blueprint. This step relies on visual tools like Figma for complex user interface planning, or maybe Framer for rapid mock-up design. You finalize your wireframes and your user experience flow before you even touch the code.
Then we move into the actual construction, which seems to involve two tools working together.
Right. Step 2. Build front end. The coding happens either within Replit AI, leveraging its ability to generate whole components and its deployment features, or using VS Code heavily augmented by GitHub Copilot. Here, you are writing the user interface code, and the AI is constantly suggesting cleaner ways to manage user input and state management.
Okay, now we link it all to the data. This is where the synergy between Supabase and the coding environment has to be seamless and, more importantly, secure.
Exactly. Step 3. Build backend. You use Supabase to define your database structure, manage user authentication, and create the necessary API access points. For the actual business logic like handling a user sign-up request or validating a booking, you write serverless functions. And these functions are often deployed using Vercel or Replit's integrated features.
I want to challenge that link just for a second. What is the hardest part of connecting a Vercel serverless function to Supabase, and how does AI make that secure?
That's a great question. The difficulty lies in secure access control. The function needs to know the Supabase API key and its URL, and these must be protected at all costs. A human needs to manually configure what are called environment variables. These are securely stored keys that the function uses to talk to the database.
And it's easy to mess that up.
Very easy. And AI, specifically Copilot, shines here. It can instantly write the necessary boilerplate code within the Vercel function to retrieve those environment variables and securely initialize the connection object. It ensures no sensitive keys are accidentally exposed in the public source code. The AI handles the security handshake.
That is a brilliant example of the AI working on the security infrastructure, not just the features.
It is. So once the core logic is written and tested, we move to what is now the simplest stage of the professional workflow. Step 4, deploy. Because Replit, GitHub, and Vercel are so tightly integrated, deployment often involves a single git push command.
That's it.
That's it. Vercel receives the code, it automatically builds it using its optimized infrastructure, and it instantly provides a production-ready, globally distributed URL with full SSL security.
Instantaneous delivery. And finally, the long-term view.
Step 5. Monitor and scale. Professional applications require ongoing attention. This involves leveraging the built-in analytics from Vercel to track performance and user behavior. It also includes optimizing for search engine optimization, or SEO, and setting up monitoring alerts. This entire sequence, from a design blueprint to a live, monitored scaling application, defines a modern end-to-end full-stack process.
What's so clear is that the developer is no longer burdened by all that infrastructure setup or boilerplate code. The AI is handling the mechanical labor at every single stage, allowing the developer to focus their cognitive effort entirely on the client's unique business problem.
It's a profound shift from configuration management to system architecture. You define the solution, and the AI handles the construction details.
Let's transition from the process to the powerful systems this architecture enables. What kind of advanced, high-earning applications can a single developer now confidently tackle with this Level 3 stack?
We're moving into the realm of custom business software, often called enterprise-light applications. These are systems with serious logic, multiple user roles, and high data integrity requirements.
Let's run through these detailed use cases, and let's note the tools required for each. Start with the service industry staple.
Okay, first, an appointment booking system. This relies on Replit for rapid front-end development and Supabase for robust data handling. And this isn't just a calendar. It requires secure user login for both clients and service providers, a functional booking calendar with real-time availability checks to prevent double booking,
Which is critical.
and automated notification emails triggered by the serverless functions within Vercel.
That real-time availability check is a high-stakes data transaction that a no-code tool just cannot reliably handle.
Exactly. Second, a school or college portal. This is basically a mini enterprise resource planning system, an ERP. It demands Vercel for fast, reliable access across potentially thousands of users, and Supabase for all that structured data. The challenge here is the multi-role management. Students access assignments, teachers upload materials and grade them, and administrators track fees and attendance. The schema complexity is significant.
And moving into the highly profitable e-commerce world.
Third, an e-commerce starter app. This requires Replit or Copilot for the front-end code and, crucially, integration with a payment gateway like the Stripe API. A developer has to handle product listing, state management for the add-to-cart function, and secure payment processing. Integrating a financial API like Stripe is definitively a Level 3 skill.
For sure.
But AI assists by writing the necessary API calls and handling the secure token exchange boilerplate.
And that integration is where the value just skyrockets. Finally, a full educational platform.
Fourth, a learning management system, LMS. This requires the full suite Vercel for speed and Supabase for complexity. An LMS includes modules for hosting multimedia courses, interactive quizzes that require backend scoring logic, and the automated generation and tracking of digital certificates upon completion. This involves maintaining complex logic that tracks user progress, which is pure full-stack work.
What's truly eye-opening is the financial reward that's tied to these complex systems. Our sources quantify the earning range for these types of projects.
Yes, for a developer who's capable of delivering a custom, scalable system like those we just described, the earning potential ranges dramatically, from Rs of 50,000 up to Rs 250,000 per project.
Wow.
These are not small gigs. These are genuine business solutions that command serious professional fees, and they're all enabled by the efficiency and capability of this AI stack.
That range provides the clear motivation for making the jump to level 3. And to make this ambition tangible, let's bring in a specific narrative element, the story of Hamza. This puts a human face on the speed of this new development era.
This is a perfect illustration for the learner out there who might feel that attaining this level of expertise is years away.
So Hamza, a 19-year-old who started with essentially no prior professional development experience, decided to tackle a complex system using this exact stack. Replit and Supabase for the build, deployed on Vercel.
And his chosen project was high value, a comprehensive tuition center portal. Think about the actual complexity there. It needed secure teacher login, a robust system for student attendance tracking, the ability for students to upload homework files, which requires Supabase storage,
Right.
and financial logic for fee tracking. This is a secure, data-intensive, multi-user application.
And the key metric that demonstrates the AI-enhanced workflow is the total time it took for the first release.
He built this entire system design, back-end, front-end, and deployment in just 9 days.
9 days.
That development velocity for a complex, customized system is simply not possible using traditional manual methods, particularly for someone with no experience. The efficiency of the AI tools acted as a force multiplier.
The outcome was immediate success. The income from that first client project was Rs 95,000. And the profound result. Hamza is now booked for 3 more projects based on the demonstrated success of that first application. He went from zero to a profitable development career in under 2 weeks of focused effort.
The lesson here is so clear. Advanced tools don't just create marginally better work. They create advanced opportunities. Hamza bypassed the traditional, slow, painful learning curve by leveraging AI to handle the mechanical, complex parts. And that allowed him to rapidly deliver a solution that commanded a senior-level fee.
Okay, now let's discuss the shift from code generation to pure problem solving. When you are deep into a project, debugging and optimization consume most of your time. This is where AI moves beyond just writing code and truly acts as your personal senior engineer.
This is the highest value proposition, especially for experienced developers. When you hit a seemingly intractable bug or a performance bottleneck, you have instant access to an expert that can diagnose and fix issues based on, well, billions of lines of code knowledge.
So instead of spending hours scouring forums, you communicate directly with the AI about the engineering challenge. What are the specific problem-solving prompts that a developer would use in this context?
We use direct engineering language. For fundamental issues, the prompt is error fixing. Fix this code error and explain why it happened. And crucially, the AI doesn't just fix the syntax. It provides a pedagogical explanation of the root cause. It transforms debugging into a learning moment.
That explanation is what truly provides the senior engineering guidance. What about optimizing code for speed and resource use?
That falls under code optimization. Rewrite this function to be more efficient. If a developer has written a function that iterates inefficiently or uses too much memory, the AI can suggest and implement cleaner algorithms or more optimized language constructs. That's a task typically reserved for a very experienced developer reviewing the codebase.
And what about integrating new external components, like creating an API for data exchange?
API creation. Create a post API endpoint for user registration in Express.js. This is demanding because it requires knowledge of the server framework, security standards, and communication protocols. The AI instantly generates the functional, secure endpoint that handles the incoming data and interacts with the Supabase backend.
Even database administration, which is often a really specialized skill set, is now accessible.
Absolutely. The prompt for database logic could be, write SQL to get the latest 20 user records, filtered by active status. This allows the developer to use natural language to execute complex database operations, receiving secure, functional SQL without needing deep fluency in database querying language.
And finally, diagnosing issues that span the integrated stack, like
Yeah.
Vercel deployment problems.
Right, deployment issues. Why is my Vercel app stuck on building? Help me debug. The AI steps in to analyze the entire configuration chain, the build logs, the dependency files, the environment settings, and it diagnoses the infrastructural problem. This demonstrates the AI acting as a cohesive problem solver across the full Level 3 stack.
It effectively democratizes senior-level expertise. You don't have to wait 5 years to gain that intuitive knowledge. You can access it on demand. And that ensures your project momentum is never halted by a common yet frustrating technical bottleneck.
The key is that AI is not replacing the need for a good developer. It's accelerating the output and expanding the capability of a single developer to handle full-stack complexity.
And that circle of capability, from a basic concept to complex revenue-generating systems, brings us to the summary of our deep dive.
Let's quickly solidify the 5 most critical concepts we've covered for transitioning to Level 3 development. First, the development environment. Replit, the AI-powered environment that combines your editor, server, and deployment, automating setup and security.
Second, the deployment platform. Vercel, the standard for professional, high-speed, global hosting, utilizing edge computing for minimal latency.
Third, the application brain. Supabase, the modern open-source backend providing the robust PostgreSQL database, authentication, and storage, all managed via simple prompts. And fourth, the constant coding partner, Copilot, the AI assistant that ensures speed, code cleanliness, and acts as a constant peer reviewer.
And finally, the overarching blueprint, the full-stack workflow itself, that efficient AI-accelerated sequence moving from design to code to backend to deploy and monitor.
The path to mastery, as we saw with Hamza, is through direct, high-leverage application. Our sources strongly encourage the learner to move past just consuming tutorials and commit to building a specific project using this Level 3 stack immediately.
They suggest several practice projects that require the full use of these tools: an attendance app, a note-sharing service, a complex appointment booking system, a photo gallery with authentication, or maybe a prayer time reminder app. These projects force you to integrate all 4 pillars.
Start by prompting the AI. Create a complete front-end and back-end plan for a chosen app using Replit and Supabase. Build the schema, generate the boilerplate, write the functions with Copilot, and deploy the entire structure on Vercel. Get your first professional application live this week.
And this leads us to our final provocative thought. This knowledge is not merely academic. It has to translate into professional action and ultimately a new professional identity.
If mastering these advanced high-leverage tools means accelerating your career trajectory by 5 years or more, what specific, complex application are you going to commit to building next? And what is the concrete earning target? Rs 100,000, Rs 200,000 or more? That will define your new professional identity as a high-level, full-stack, AI-enhanced developer.
Applied knowledge that sets a professional goal is the most transformative force in any career. We hope this deep dive has provided you with the necessary map to begin architecting your professional future today.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.